Hello and welcome. We got something special planned today, Rugred.
A little bit different, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to talk
different.
about the Wayne Family Adventures. That's the new Batman webtoon, the official Batman webtoon, which is first of its kind.
That's what I was thinking. I don't know if I've ever heard that before. Where it does that.
I don't think I've ever seen a big brand trust a webtoon artist for sure,
Right.
with one of their titles.
That's true.
But webtoon, like, as much as I love comics, webtoon's a lot easier to access
True.
than most comics. Before we get into our thoughts on the thing itself, I should say we're not going to spoil anything past the first chapter.
Right.
And I haven't even introduced us yet because I'm so excited to talk about this. But I'm Trey.
I'm Rumrin.
And, I've been dominating this 30 seconds of footage already. But I very much enjoy this thing.
I do too. I think it's really cool for what it is. It's set up. It's not set up like a comic.
Right.
A comic. It's set up like a webtoon. Mm-hmm. And I like that. The from the first panel, because you get the first panel with Duke Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
Signal, yes, and that's who for that first little chapter. That's who you kind of write. He's your carriage.
Yeah, he's your POV.
Exactly. So you go through that and you find out. And if you were in a comic book, I think you would have this big, huge, beautiful splash page for the very first one, and it'd be all detailed and everything showing him. And it's not set up like that.
Yeah.
The art fits what it's doing, and I'm really excited about that.
Yes.
I think that sometimes that gets lost.
I think also, like, comics are a little bit harsher line work, and webtoons are not, right? Webtoons have softer line work for the most part. Your edges aren't going to be quite as harsh because you're able to vanish out into nothing in a way that in comics you're really not allowed to do. And that's just the difference between the two art forms, as it were. And because of that, you get kind of a gentler approach to some of these characters. And again, not going too far spoiler-wise, but I think it works for these characters. And that's not to say I don't love the way the comics does it, for sure.
Well, I think it's a little bit more than that, because I think the dialogue is simple.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing deep to it.
Yeah.
The artwork fits the dialogue and fits the story. I think you could have done this in any setting.
Right.
And it would have been a pleasant. The fact that it's Wayne Manor and just Batman and a few others just makes it nice. These are the things that, when Batman's on a roof, pondering life, death, and everything else. This is the stuff that he misses.
That's right.
And I really have enjoyed it. I think the introduction is good. I think so far the characters have been true to what I'd kind of expect.
They're a little more fun than you'd expect, but I think that also sells it. Because I think if you did this in a comic, there would be people going, okay, but where's the action?
Yeah.
Where's the villain? Where's the Joker? Where's the Riddler? And instead, by focusing on the Wayne family, as it were, right? The found and the blood and all the way it works with Bruce Wayne, who is, of course, this very complicated character in a lot of ways. You get to focus on those little moments. Like you said, the ones that he misses when he's out there fighting crime.
Yeah. And I think it's a really good... it's kind of funny how true the characters are to what you'd kind of expect.
Yeah.
You don't get much of Alfred. You just kind of get introduced to him. You don't get a whole lot of Batman in this, but he is Bruce Wayne.
Yes.
In both when you see him, the excitement of Duke Thomas moving in.
Yeah, because of course you'd be excited.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's why he's a perfect vehicle.
Yes, I agree.
For a point of view, because I'm just as excited as he is.
Yeah.
I would feel in the same way, and Damian Wayne's a little. He pulls a little prank. Nothing dangerous or
that
anything.
T-Rex moves.
Yeah, it's just enough to give you all the character. And the art style on Damian Wayne's are like little Band-Aid on his knee.
Yeah.
This is a kid.
Yes.
Now he will kill you or knock you unconscious.
He's much better trained than most children.
Yeah, but he's still a kid, and that comes through.
And
so
I think
I'm really looking forward to what's going to come.
This first chapter, I think, all comes together in that moment of Batman chuckling. Which is something you don't get to see him do that much.
No.
But just like, there are traps. That was actually true.
Yeah, that part.
It's like just a little moment with Batman where he does it. You just don't normally ever get to see it. And it's nice to get that moment of, hey, for right now, in this moment, everything's okay.
And that last little section right there, it's like, it's still Batman.
Yes.
It's still, it's still that DC universe.
Yes.
And anything other crap. But I really enjoyed it. It's not very long. I think maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Pull it up and read it.
4 chapters right now.
That's
it
what's
updates
out
every
right now?
Thursday.
Okay.
And that's another thing that I think is really crazy. The fact that not only are they saying, yes, we're going to allow this webtoon artist to tell a Batman story on webtoon.com, but we're going to do it with weekly updates.
Yeah.
Like, that's nuts to me.
That's nice.
Because it's not, you don't have to pay a thing for it. It's completely free. Like you said, short, easy to read. You can get them just in a chunk. You can, while you're on your break at work, right?
Right.
You can read a chapter of this, no problem.
Yes.
And you just get this little nice fun time, and then on to whatever else you were doing. And next week you get it again.
Right. Yeah. And I'm hoping that this will bring some people into Batman.
Yes.
Because the stories, because in my favorite Batman is the Dark Knight Batman, a little bit crazy, kind of,
Yes.
He's a man who dresses with a bat suit, goes out at night fighting criminals. He's a little bit nuts. There's usually not a Robin.
Well, and I don't think...
So this is a little bit different. I like it.
For sure.
I can't help it. I like it a lot.
No, I don't blame you.
It's nothing... And I think the fact that there's nothing... The artist is not trying to go overboard. It's like, this is my style. It fits. I'm going to have a story that fits with the style of art that I'm doing.
Right. This is not a I Am Not Starfire. It's a very different... I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to remind you of it. It's a very different style. But it's also true to the style in a way. That's
true to the
really
character,
nice.
for sure. So far, yes.
And without getting into spoilers, it's not afraid to tackle some of the harder aspects of Batman's story either. There are references to a very important moment in one character's life. Another character that has a big thing happen to that character is still in that situation.
In that, when Damian Wayne's pointing to the Batman family portraits, there's a remark made there. So it's still true. It's still it feels to me like DC. It feels to me like a Batman, even with the changing art, with different art style, the more homely, simpler story.
Yes,
it fits together. I'm excited. I'm happy.
I agree. And one thing that we would like to do is we'd like to talk about more of it, obviously. So I think it'd be nice maybe next week to do like a full spoiler of the 5 chapters that'll be out next week.
Go ahead and do all
and
5.
Just hit them.
Okay.
And then each week after that, we can talk about the new one that comes out.
Sounds good. We'll do that.
So we'll do that. I like it a lot. I know this is really short compared to a lot of our other videos, but there's not much more to say here without spoiling it for people.
Right. And it's kind of the beauty of the thing is there's nothing too complex to it. It's a simple.
Yes.
It's a simple thing and done well.
Yes.
And that's what makes it nice.
And I really want to talk about chapter 2.
All right. We better wrap this up before we ruin anything.
With all that said, then, I've been Trey.
I've been Rundgren.
We've been the Full Spectrum D&D podcast, though right now we're talking about stories.
Yes, we are.
So right now it's the Full Spectrum Stories cast. But remember to always enjoy the full spectrum that Batman, the Wayne Family Adventures, has to offer.